made our way easily to the cable bus via the bus Linea 1, but the tour offered the day before to come pick us up for an extra fee. We met our guide Eric at the cable bus entrance. It wasn't busy. The ride was smooth and super interesting, and our guide was helpful. We learned about the development of the neighborhoods we were traveling over. We transferred to another cable bus after 3 stops. Then we got off and the ride had been arranged for us by our guide, which took us up a hill. We got out for the hike, but I decided it was too steep for me. It was rocky and uneven terrain and I am not a hiker. So we missed out on the hike to the Pulque and the view, but that was our choice. We were the only ones on the tour, so I didn't feel badly. Our guide was kind and pivoted. We went in the car to the center of a town where there was a church and a market, and we bought some candy and food. Then our guide led us back to the cable bus for the ride back. It was so interesting to see how people not in the city center live a totally different life and hear about how the cable bus makes the commute easier for them. I recommend this tour if you have the time after all the touristy things. Our round trip from our lodging in the city center and back was about 4 hours. Highly recommend this tour. Eric was a great guide and very friendly. After many museums, the chance to see this neighborhood from the air, and then up close as we drove through it on the way to the mountain hike to the Pulque spot was great. Eric was a knowledgeable and interesting guide. We were a small group and he was interested and open to talk history, politics, and of course, Pulque. We got to try many flavors of Pulque, and as most people report, they were all great. Lunch at a little local spot before we headed back down the cable bus. Great views, a nice little hike, good conversation. Highly recommended. Thanks Eric, I'll tell friends to ask for you. This was a very authentic and personal experience. Our guide, Alex, was very friendly, knowledgeable and took us through his own neighborhood, as well as a fairly remote pulqueria where we tried some of the freshest pulque we had while in CDMX. We rode through the town, had a traditional lunch, and hiked up a hill to see gorgeous views of CDMX. The cable cars were smooth and offered a beautiful view of the surroundings. Nothing like I've ever seen in a big city as a primary mode of transportation. 10 tenths would do the tour again and recommend Alex to people willing to go a bit off the beaten path and experience beautiful scenery and delicious food and drink. My guide, Eric, was helpful and very knowledgeable. When I booked, I did not see anything but the cable car, so when we got to the top and we went to get in a tiny car I was a bit apprehensive. Then we got to the top of the tree line and supposedly hike up a trail. I said I cannot risk this. He had an alternative place for us to taste the pulque that he explained the whole process thoroughly. One of the most amazing experiences you'll ever have. Do not pass this up. You see the whole entire city on a commuter cable car. I can't even describe it. Yes, you could do it by yourself, but you wouldn't have all the information like a local can give you. Easily one of the best experiences I've had during my time in Mexico City. Eric was very knowledgeable and took great care of us the entire tour. We traveled from metro station Indigo Verdes, Linea 3, through the cable car system, which was much larger than I expected. After a short ride up through the mountainside towns, we did a rigorous hike to the top and enjoyed the views, drank some delicious pulque. Other than the Lucha Libre match I visited, this was easily my most favorite experience here in Mexico City. It was very authentic and Eric was great. Don't hesitate and book this tour with Eric.